She texted, "I'm the best you'll ever have. You'll never do better than me." I wrote, "Probably not." Then I did better by doing nothing, literally just existing without her drama. Her mutual friends commenting on how much happier I looked was the best revenge. Original post. I 52 male got that text from my girlfriend Melissa, 48 6 months ago. We'd been together for 3 years, and honestly, the relationship had become exhausting. But that text wasn't during a breakup. No, she sent it during one of her typical power plays where she'd threatened to leave to get her way. This time it was because I'd said no to co-signing on a luxury SUV she couldn't afford. She already had a perfectly fine sedan, but her coworker had just gotten a new Range Rover, and suddenly Melissa deserved better. The full text chain went like this: Melissa, if you really loved me, you'd help with this. I'm embarrassed driving that old car to client meetings. Your car is 2 years old, and you make good money. If you want the SUV, finance it yourself. Wow. After everything I do for you? I cook, I make your life better, I'm the best you'll ever have. You'll never do better than me, remember that. Probably not. What? You're probably right. You're probably the best I'll ever have. Damn right. So, are you going to co-sign or not? Not. Then maybe I should find someone who actually appreciates what they have. Okay. Okay? That's all you have to say? What else is there? You want to find someone else? Go ahead. She showed up at my house 20 minutes later, demanding we talk like adults. I let her in. She ranted for an hour about how I didn't value her, how her ex would have bought her the car outright, how I was going to die alone. I just sat there, nodded occasionally. When she finally ran out of steam, I said, "So are we breaking up or not?" She got this smug look. "I'm not breaking up with you, but you better start showing me proper appreciation, or I will." "Cool," I said. "Drive safe." She left confused. I think she expected me to beg or something, but I was just tired. 3 years of everything being a negotiation, a power play, emotional manipulation disguised as communication. Every holiday ruined by some manufactured drama. Every nice dinner interrupted by her finding something to be offended about. That night, I did something radical. Nothing. I didn't call, didn't text, didn't post anything on social media about being sad or lonely. Just went to work, came home, watched the game in peace. Made myself a steak dinner without anyone complaining that I was using too much seasoning or that red meat would kill me. It was nice. Update 1, 2 weeks later. The silence lasted exactly 3 days before Melissa started bombing my phone. I didn't block her, just didn't respond. Let them pile up. "Hello? I know you're seeing this." Very mature, giving me the silent treatment. "This is exactly why you'll never find anyone better. I'm done playing games. Call me back or we're through." "Fine, your loss. Why aren't you fighting for us? I'm seeing Brad from my office for drinks tomorrow. FYI. That last one almost got a response. Almost. Brad was this guy she'd been using to make me jealous for months. Instead, I went bowling with my buddy Terry. Posted a picture of us with our beers, captioned "Boys Night, life's good." Melissa's best friend Dana called me the next day. "What did you do to Mel?" "She's losing it." "Nothing, literally nothing." "She says you're ignoring her." "She said she wanted to find someone who appreciates her. I'm letting her." "You know she didn't mean it?" "Then she shouldn't have said it." "Look, between you and me, Brad's not interested. He's actually gay, but Mel doesn't know that. She's embarrassing herself. Can you just call her?" "No." "You're really gonna throw away 3 years over a stupid car?" "It's not about the car, Dana." Meanwhile, I started doing something revolutionary, enjoying my life. Went to a baseball game without someone complaining about the weather. Played poker with the guys without getting 15 texts about when I'd be home. Bought a new grill without a 3-hour discussion about financial priorities from someone who spent $300 monthly on nail appointments. The mutual friends started noticing. At Terry's barbecue that weekend, his wife Janet pulled me aside. "Janet, you look different." "Me, bad different?" "No, like, relaxed. You're actually smiling. Real smiles, not that tight thing you used to do." "Me, thanks. Is Melissa coming? We're taking a break." "Oh honey, I'm sorry. Wait, no, actually I'm not. She was exhausting to be around. Terry never wanted to say anything, but it's fine." "You know what? Good for you." That same night, Melissa showed up at my house at 11 p.m., banging on the door, crying. I answered but didn't let her in. Melissa, Brad rejected me. Are you happy now? I had nothing to do with Brad. You drove me to this. If you just acted like you cared. Melissa, go home. I am home. This is our home. No, this is my house. You have your apartment. 3 years. You're throwing away 3 years. You threatened to leave me over a car cosign. Who's throwing what away? She tried to push past me. I gently blocked her. Let me in. We need to talk. No, we don't. You wanted someone who appreciates you more. Go find them. I already told you. You'll never do better than me. You're 52. You're bald. You have a dad bod. Who else is going to want you? Probably nobody. I'm okay with that. You're okay dying alone? I'm okay living in peace. That seemed to break something in her brain. She just stared at me. You've met someone else? No. Then, why are you being like this? Like what? Calm? Happy? You're not happy without me. I'm literally happier than I've been in 2 years. She started ugly crying. The neighbor's lights came on. I told her to leave or I'd call the police. She left, but not before keying my truck on the way out. Got her on my Ring camera doing it. Update 2. 1 month later, I filed a police report about the truck. Didn't press charges, just wanted documentation. Cost me $1,200 to fix, but worth it for the paper trail. Melissa went nuclear on social media. Posted these long, vague things about narcissistic exes and emotional abuse, and when you give your best years to someone who never deserved you. Her friends ate it up. Comments flooded in about what a queen she was, how she deserved better. I didn't respond, didn't block her either, just lived my life. What killed her was that mutual friends started posting pictures with me in them. Terry's poker night, Janet's birthday dinner, my neighbor's barbecue. In every picture, I'm laughing, relaxed, just present. One of her friends, Denise, commented on a photo, "Wow, you look so happy. Good to see you smiling." Melissa immediately texted Denise demanding she delete the comment. Denise screenshotted it and sent it to Janet, who sent it to me. The text said, "Delete that comment now. He's not happy. He's performing. Don't encourage his midlife crisis." But here's the thing. I wasn't performing. I was just living without walking on eggshells. I could watch TV without commentary about my show choices. Eat cereal for dinner without a lecture. Leave dishes in the sink overnight without World War III. Then came the escalation. Melissa started showing up places she knew I'd be. The gym at 6 a.m., she hadn't worked out in 2 years. The hardware store on Saturday mornings. My regular sports bar during Thursday night football. Each time with a different dude. First it was Keith from her CrossFit that she suddenly joined. Then Miguel from her book club that apparently included men now. Then Robert, her financial advisor who looked about 25. She'd make sure I saw her. Loud laugh. Hand on their arm. Once she literally made out with Keith right in front of the free weights while I was benching. Terry was spotting me. He goes, "Isn't that?" "Yep." "Want to move to different equipment?" "Nah. 2 more sets." I finished my workout, nodded politely when I walked past them. Keith looked uncomfortable as hell. The other guys at poker were loving the drama. "So she's basically stalking you with random dudes?" "Seems like it." "And you're just cool with it?" "Why wouldn't I be? She's not my problem anymore." "But she keyed your truck, and I have her on camera. If she escalates, I'll handle it. Otherwise, I don't care." Man, I'd be losing my mind. That's what she wants. I'm not playing. You know what? Respect. My ex had me tied in knots for months after we split. Yeah, well, I'm too old and tired for drama. What really got her was Thanksgiving. Her sister Christine reached out, asking if I was coming to their family dinner. For 3 years, I'd gone to Melissa's family's Thanksgiving. They were nice people, honestly. Her dad Greg and I bonded over vintage cars. "Christine, Mom wants to know if you're bringing your usual green bean casserole." Melissa and I aren't together anymore. "Since when?" "About a month. She didn't tell us. She said you were working things out." "News to me." "Well, you're still welcome. Dad wants to show you his new Mustang restoration." "That's kind, but it would be awkward." "Yeah, you're right. But just so you know, we're all Team You. Mel's been a nightmare lately." I spent Thanksgiving with my brother's family instead. Quiet, drama-free. His kids actually asked where Aunt Melissa was. I just said she had other plans. Meanwhile, Melissa spent Thanksgiving posting staged photos with Robert at some fancy restaurant, champagne the works. Caption, thankful for upgrades. Her mom commented, "Where's the family dinner photos?" Deleted within minutes. Update 3. 3 months later. The entitlement reached peak levels when Melissa decided she needed closure. She had Dana call me, begging me to meet Melissa for coffee just to end things properly. I agreed, mostly because I was curious what she'd come up with. We met at a Starbucks. She showed up in full makeup, new outfit, fresh highlights. I showed up in cargo shorts and a t-shirt from a 5K I'd run the previous weekend. Another thing I'd started doing without someone telling me running was bad for my knees. "Melissa, you look good. Lost weight? You wanted to talk? I need to understand what happened. We were good together. Were we? 3 years doesn't mean anything to you?" It means something. It means I learned what I don't want. Which is what? Drama, manipulation, threats, having every normal boundary turned into a fight. I was passionate. I cared. You threatened to leave me over a car cosign. I was testing if you really loved me. And I failed? Yes, you just let me go, because I don't play games. She leaned forward, grabbed my hand. I pulled it back. I miss you. I miss us. There is no us. Robert means nothing. Neither did Keith or Miguel. I was trying to make you jealous. I know. And you didn't care? Not really. How can you be so cold? I'm not cold. I'm just done. You've changed. No, I stopped pretending your behavior was normal. That pissed her off. My behavior? You ignored me for a month. Me, after you threatened to leave. I gave you what you wanted. I wanted you to fight for me. I'm 52 years old. I don't fight for people who threaten to leave. This is why you'll die alone. Maybe. Still better than dying stressed. She actually threw her coffee at me. Iced latte, so no burns, but the whole Starbucks went silent. The barista immediately said, "Ma'am, you need to leave. He's abusing me." "Barista, I watched you throw coffee at him. Leave or I'm calling the police." As she stormed out, she turned back. "You'll regret this when you're old and alone." I'm already old, and finally not lonely. The barista gave me free coffee and a stack of napkins. Update 4. 6 months later. Last week was the 6-month mark since that text about being the best I'll ever have. Want to know the beautiful irony? She was probably right. I probably won't date anyone as attractive, successful, or socially connected as Melissa again. And I literally could not care less. The escalation attempts continued for a while. She had her lawyer send a letter demanding I pay her back for household improvements she'd made to my house. Apparently, buying throw pillows and organizing my spice rack counted as improvements. My lawyer, Terry's brother, sent back a letter listing everything I'd paid for over 3 years, including her car repairs, her mom's birthday party, and that couple's retreat where she spent the whole time complaining about the thread count. Never heard back. She tried to get invited to Terry and Janet's Super Bowl party. Janet told her it was family only this year. It wasn't. She had her new boyfriend, apparently Robert, stuck around, call me to man up and return some jewelry she'd left. I mailed her the costume jewelry she'd left to her apartment. Insured. Required signature. The pearl necklace and earrings I'd bought her, sold those months ago. She posted old photos of us with captions about remembering better times and some people don't know what they have until it's gone. Her friends hearted them. Everyone else ignored them. The turning point was when I ran into her parents at the grocery store. Greg came right up, shook my hand. "Greg, how you been? Heard you restored that Chevelle?" "Yeah, finally had time to finish it. I'd love to see it sometime." "Greg, we should go." "In a minute. Look, son, I'm sorry about everything. Melissa's always been difficult, even as a kid. Nothing was ever enough." "It's fine, Greg." "No, it's not. She's 48 years old acting like a teenager. We're embarrassed." "Greg." "What? It's true. She's living with that boy who's young enough to be her son, calling us for money every week, posting those ridiculous videos online." "Me? Videos?" "Don't look them up. Trust me, just you did the right thing walking away." We exchange numbers. Greg and I actually meet up monthly now to work on cars. Melissa found out and lost her mind. But what's she gonna do? Tell her dad he can't have friends? The boy Greg mentioned? Robert lasted 2 more months before he figured out Melissa expected him to fund the lifestyle she was accustomed to. He was making decent money, but not buy me a Range Rover money. She's now dating someone new, a divorced dentist she met at a wine tasting. He seems nice. Exhausted already, but nice. Meanwhile, my life has been beautifully boring. Lost 20 pounds without someone sabotaging my diet with guilt trips about not eating her cooking. Finished 3 house projects without committee meetings about paint colors. Took a solo fishing trip without 47 check-in texts. Joined a hiking group without lectures about how nature is boring. Started learning Spanish on an app without anyone mocking my pronunciation. Renewed friendships that had faded because Melissa didn't vibe with those people. The best part? The mutual friends who watched this whole thing unfold. Janet straight up told me last week, "Janet, I have to say it, you look 10 years younger. It's like watching someone come back to life." That dramatic? You have no idea. The last year you were with her, you looked gray, defeated. Now? You're that guy we met before Melissa, the one who told jokes and actually enjoyed things. Remember that Christmas party where she made him leave early because someone complimented his sweater and she thought they were flirting? That didn't happen. Dude, it absolutely did. You've blocked out half the crazy stuff. Maybe I have. Maybe my brain's doing me a favor. Final update. So why am I writing this now? Because yesterday I got one more text from Melissa, from a new number. I know you'll read this. Just wanted you to know I'm engaged. Dennis proposed last night. The ring is 3 carats. He owns 3 dental practices. We're looking at houses in Westfield, the 500K plus range. I told you I'd upgrade. Hope you're enjoying your lonely beer and football life. Still the best you'll ever have. I screenshotted it. Sent it to the group chat with Terry, Jeff, and Larry. 3 months? She's engaged after 3 months? Dennis about to learn some life lessons. Should we warn him? Me, not my circus. Then I deleted the screenshot, blocked the new number, and went back to building a bookshelf in my garage. The bookshelf Melissa had said was a waste of time and wood when I'd mentioned wanting to build one 2 years ago. Here's what I learned. When someone tells you, "You'll never do better than me," they're usually right, but not in the way they think. I'll never do better at drama. Never do better at walking on eggshells. Never do better at financing someone else's fantasy lifestyle while being told I'm lucky to have them. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And indifference, it turns out, is devastatingly effective against someone who needs constant emotional response to feel validated. I didn't have some master plan, didn't strategize my revenge. I literally just stopped participating in the chaos, stopped responding to threats, stopped treating manipulation like communication. And that simple act of nothing, of just existing peacefully without her drama, drove her absolutely insane. She was right. She probably was the best I'll ever have if you measure by conventional standards. But I'd rather be alone eating cereal in my boxers watching the game in peace than be with the best while dying from 1,000 daily cuts of manufactured drama. My revenge? I'm just living, breathing freely, sleeping through the night without someone waking me up to fight about something I said in their dream. Spending my money on things I want without justification. Having boring, peaceful Tuesday nights. Turns out the best revenge against someone who thrives on chaos is to simply refuse to provide it. To just exist calmly and happily without them. Greg sent me a photo from the engagement party last night. Melissa in full makeup, huge smile, Dennis looking proud, her family looking tired. Greg's caption, 3 months, taking bets. I didn't respond. I was too busy existing peacefully, watching the sunset from my deck with a beer, my phone on silent, nobody demanding my emotional labor. Living well isn't the best revenge. Living peacefully is. And honestly, I've never been better.